Hello and welcome to this video on Spring controllers. So far we have seen two get endpoints. One is for get all orders and the other is get a specific order given an order ID, right? Before moving forward, let's just look at another annotation that comes handy when we want to filter the data based on a certain filter criteria. So in order to achieve that, we'll first go and add a, a variable called status under order, right? And just after we have done that, we'll see that the code would stop compiling because we have a all arguments constructor, right? So we need to pass a certain status for all the orders. So for one of these, I will just mark it as pending. And for the other order, I'll mark it as delivered. Right, and even this one I'll mark it as pending. Oops. Right, and instead of hard coding it inside the function, what I'll do is I'll just take this out and put it at the class level. So if I just cut this from here and basically paste it at the class level, and I'll call this as orders, right? And this function will now return orders instead of this hard-coded list, right? And let's say we want to actually filter this list based on the status. So what we'll have to do is we'll have to add a parameter here. It's actually an annotation and it's called request param, right? And I'll just pass the name of that. So the name of that request param will be status, right? It could be anything, but I think status seems appropriate here. And it will be again a string, and we need to take that value into a variable. So I'll just name that variable as status as well, right? Now with this, we'll have to filter this orders list and uh, get the orders whose status is, let's say, pending, right? So with Java 8, we can actually do it quite easily. So orders.stream.filter, and for each of the orders, if order ID order dot status, the get status dot equals the status that is passed in the URI, we need to collect them and send it back in the list. So I just need to do a return here, and this basically takes care of sending the filtering the orders by the status, and then collecting all those orders and sending it back in the response, right? But what we also need to look at is whether this request param uh, is a mandatory request param or is it optional, right? So if we just put a comma here, there's another attribute called required, right? By default, it is true, which means that if we do not pass status, then this URI cannot be called. But the desired behavior should be that this is an optional parameter. In case I want all orders, I shouldn't have to pass status, right? So I'll just make required equal to false, which means that if status is not passed, then I should still continue to return the complete list of orders. Right, so I'll just put status not equal to null, and it is not equal to empty string. Only then do a filtering. Otherwise, just return the complete list of orders. Right? I hope this makes sense. So with this, I'll just restart the service once again. The service is restarted. So I'll just go to the browser and hit the all orders. So this seems to be working. And now we need to check the filter criteria. So we'll put a question mark and we'll do status equal to delivered.